The next topic is fruit. The fruit is characteristic feature of the flowering plants. Fertilized and ripened ovary is called fruit, and it consists of pericarp or fruit wall and seeds developed after fertilization. The study of fruits is called pomology. Three basic types of fruits are: number 1 true fruits, number 2 false fruits, and number 3 parthenocarpic fruits. Number 1 true fruits, which are also called eucarps. They develop from superior ovary containing functional seeds but no additional floral parts fused with them. Example, mango. Number 2 false fruits are pseudocarps. They develop from inferior ovary. Additional floral parts are fused with pericarp. Example, apple, cashew. Number 3 parthenocarpic fruits. The fruits which are developed without fertilization, hence functional seeds are absent. Example, banana. Fruits which are formed by the ovary after fertilization called true fruits. True fruits have been classified into three different types. Number 1 simple fruits, number 2 aggregate fruits, and number 3 composite fruits. Simple fruits. Simple fruits develops from the ovary of the single flower with or without accessory parts. Simple fruits again classified into two types. Number 1 fleshy or succulent fruits, number 2 dry fruits. Fleshy or succulent fruits. The fruits which contains fleshy pericarps called fleshy or succulent fruits. Fleshy fruits are of five types, such as number 1 berry, number 2 drupe, number 3 hesperidium, number 4 pome, number 5 pepo. Fleshy fruits. In that, the very first one is berry. It is formed from bi or multicarpellary, unilocular, syncarpous, superior ovary. The fruit pericarp is differentiated into epicarp, which is thin layered, mesocarp and endocarp, both fused to form fleshy pulp and having seeds. Example, tomato, grapes, guava, papaya, brinjal, banana. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of berry fruit, tomato. The second one, drupe. It is formed from monocarpellary, unilocular, superior ovary. The fruit pericarp differentiated into thin layered epicarp, mesocarp, which is fibrous in coconut, edible in mango. Endocarp is hard and stony. Example, mango and coconut. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of drupe of mango and coconut. Epicarp of both fruits are thin layered. Mesocarp of mango is fibrous and edible, but in case of coconut it is fibrous. But in both, endocarp is hard and stony. The third one, hesperidium. It is formed from multicarpellary, multilocular, syncarpous superior ovary. The fruit pericarp differentiated into leathery with volatile glands containing epicarp, white papery mesocarp, juicy hair containing endocarp. Example, citrus family plants, citrus, orange. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of hesperidium, lemon. The fourth one, pome. It is developed by multicarpellary, syncarpous, inferior ovary, in which edible part is fleshy thalamus. Hence, it is a false fruit. Example, apple, Pyrus malus, pear fruit, Pyrus communis. Let's check the diagrammatic representation of pome, apple. The fifth one, pepo. It develops from tricarpellary, syncarpous, unilocular, and inferior ovary. Epicarp is fused with thalamus and forms rind. Mesocarp and endocarp are fleshy edible. Sometimes fruits are bitter in taste due to tetracyclic triterpene. Example, cucurbitaceae family plants, cucumber, muskmelon, watermelon. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of cucumis fruit. The next topic is dry fruits. The fruits which contains dry pericarp at maturity called dry fruits. Dry fruits are of two types. Number 1, dry dehiscent fruits. Number 2, dry indehiscent fruits. The first one, dry dehiscent fruits. Dry fruits can be divided into those in which the seeds are contained in a seed pod of some sort which opens to release the seeds called dry dehiscent fruits. Dry dehiscent fruits are of four types. Number 1, follicle. Number 2, legume. Number 3, siliqua. Number 4, capsule fruit. Number 1, follicle. It develops from bicarpellary unilocular ovary. Mature fruit dehiscence by one suture only. Example, larkspur. Number 2, legume. It is a dry unilocular fruit developing from superior and monocarpellary ovary. Example, pea. Number 3, siliqua. Bilocular dry fruit developed from bicarpellary syncarpus superior ovary. Dehiscence of fruits occurs by both the halves from base to apex. Example, mustard. Fourth one, capsule. It develops from syncarpus multicarpellary ovary. It shows following types of dehiscence: poricidal, opium argemone; loculicidal, cotton; septicidal, linseed; septifragal, datura; denticidal, pink; and pyxidium, portulioca. Next, the diagrammatic representation of follicle, legume, siliqua, and capsule fruit. The next topic is dry indehiscent fruits. In dry indehiscent fruit, the pericarp remains intact when the fruit is shed from the plant. They do not split at the maturity, therefore seeds are liberated only by the destruction of pericarp. Dry indehiscent fruits are of five types: achenes, samara, cypsella, caryopsis, and nut. Achenes. It is single dry indehiscent fruit which develops from unilocular superior ovary. Fruit wall or pericarp is not fused with seed coat. Example, mirabilis, borevia. Number 2, cypsella. It is single dry indehiscent fruit which develops from bicarpellary syncarpus inferior ovary. Fruit wall and seed coat are separate. Example, sunflower. Next one, samara. It develops from superior bicarpellary ovary. Fruits are winged and wings developed from pericarp. Example, hopia. The fourth one, caryopsis, develops from monocarpellary unilocular ovary. Fruit wall or pericarp fused with seed coat. Example, wheat and maize. Nut, it is single dry indehiscent fruit developed from superior ovary. Pericarp is hard and woody at maturity. Example, cashew nut, walnut, and lychee. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of achenes, cypsella, samara, caryopsis, and nuts. Aggregate fruits and composite fruits. Aggregate fruits, they develop from a flower having apocarpus multicarpellary gynoecium. In that gynoecium, each carpel develops into a fruitlet and all fruitlets together form an aggregate fruit. They are simultaneously mature. These aggregate fruits are also called heterio. Aggregate fruits are broadly classified into 5 different types, such as number 1, heterio of achenes. Example, strawberry, ranunculus. Number 2, heterio of drupes. Example, blackberry and rubus. Number 3, heterio of follicle. Example, Michaelia calotropis. Number 4, heterio of berries. Example, custard apple, Horta botrytis. Number 5, heterio of samara. Example, Elianthus. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of annona. So see in annona or custard apple how the aggregate fruit is formed. All the fruitlets which are developed from apocarpus ovary, so they develops into fruitlets all together, all to aggregate and forms an aggregate fruit. It is an example of aggregate fruit of berry or heterio of berry. The next one, Composite or multiple fruits. Composite or multiple fruits develops from entire inflorescence. That's why these are technically called false fruits. So these composite or multiple fruits are again classified into two types: sorosis, syconus. Number one, sorosis. In this type, fruit develop from entire spike or catkin inflorescence. Examples: pineapple and jackfruit developed from entire spike inflorescence. Mulberry developed from entire catkin inflorescence. Number two, syconus. In this type, composite fruit develops from the inflorescence of hypanthodium. Example: fig fruit of banyan tree. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of composite fruits, both sorosis and syconus. Coming to sorosis, seen in ananas or pineapple. In pineapple, composite fruit formed from the entire spike inflorescence. Coming to syconus, fig fruit. In this, entire hypanthodium inflorescence develops into composite fruit. Generally, composite fruits are two fruits, but technically we call false fruits. Why? Because here not only ovary, the entire inflorescence is developed into fruit. Points of remember about fruit, which means some other extra information about fruit. Lychee. In lychee, chinensis, the edible part is fleshy structural aril. The latter is considered to be additional integument of the ovule that develops from the funicles of the ovule. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of the fruit lychee. Schizocarpic fruits. Schizocarpic fruits are intermediate type between dehiscent fruits capsular and indehiscent fruits acinals. It breaks into a number of dehiscent pieces at maturity. These schizocarpic fruits are of 5 types. Number 1, lumentum. Number 2, cremocarp. Number 3, compound samara. Number 4, carcerulus. Number 5, regma. Lumentum. In this type, fruit is constricted in between the seeds. It is of 2 types. Number 1, lumentaceous pod, example acacia and groundnut. Number 2, lumentaceous siliqua, example radish. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of lumentum, particularly lumentaceous pod in groundnut. Check the diagram carefully. Cremocarp. Cremocarp fruit develops from bicarpellary and inferior ovary fruits, splits into indehiscent one-seeded merycarps, example coriander. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of cremocarp in coriander. So in the diagram, the second peak shows the transfer section of cremocarpic fruit in coriander. Compound samara or double samara. It is look like samara fruit, but at maturity it splits into 2 samara. Example acer and dodonia. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of double samara in acer, how at maturity fruit splits into 2 samara or 2 merycarps. Check the diagram carefully. The next type of schizocarpic fruit is carcerulus. In this type, fruit develops from bi or multicarpellary superior ovary. After maturity, fruit splits into 4 or more indehiscent parts. Example ocimum, abutilon and salvia. Let's see the diagrammatic representation of carcerulus in hollyhock. Check the diagram carefully. The fifth one, regma. It is a dry schizocarpic fruit developed from tricarpellary Syncarpus superior ovary. In this, fruit splits into three one-seeded bits at maturity. Example, resinous castor. Let's check the diagrammatic representation of ragma fruit in castor. Check the diagram carefully. Up to here we completed the fruit. In next video I will explain you about seeds. Thank you very much.